Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by Todderbert. If you enjoy reviews, comparisons, band scans of new and classic portable radios, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any of my most excellent videos. In front of us we have the Sony ICF-7600A, and I'm going to perform an evening medium wave band scan. First we'll go over features, second I'll do a size comparison, and third I'll start cruising the evening band. So here it is, this Sony ICF-7600A, made in 1982. Yep, over 40 years old. Gotta love it. You can find these on eBay running between $50 to $100. They're quite common on there and they sell quite a bit. So they're very popular still. So quite the collecting crowd for this. You'll sometimes find these new in the box. Sometimes you'll find these as parts. The parts are selling really well. So if you find one for $25 not working, it might be worthwhile to buy one to try fixing it. Because I bet you it's just one of these three switches that is dirty and it's not turning on. That's my best guess because these are the main fault of the radio. I took mine apart and did a lot of cleaning to get these switches working properly. And that might be a reason why some people have an issue. So rock out and get yourself an awesome shortwave radio. So let's look at some features. Left hand side, we got the carry strap. We have a tape start jack. We have an earphone jack. We have a DC input of 6 volts. Note polarity is opposite. Sleeve is positive. Post is negative. There you go. Typical Sony, right? They got it backwards. All right. Front here says Sony. It's raised. It's actually kind of cool. Got it raised in the metal. Yeah. 80 style. The speaker here is 3 inches. When I had it apart, I measured that. Nice full range speaker too, by the way. I really like the sound of it. Volume slider. Not a big deal. I was able to clean this. Now when you clean faders like this, the sliding type controls, use the fader formula from Dioxic. Works the best. Or any kind of volume potentiometer. That way it won't remove the carbon film. That's using the resistance. If you remove that carbon film, you ruin the fader or volume control. So keep that in mind. But the normal switches, you can use the regular Dioxic 5%. That's what I use on these here. Going over here, it says FM AM, multiband receiver, shortwave dual conversion. Tuning LED, turns red when we're in tune. You can see we got the shortwave band segmented there. 49, 41, 31, 25, 19, 16, and 13 meters. Awesome. Medium wave, which we're interested tonight, is that gold lettering. It goes 530 to 1600. During the day, it topped out at 1630 for me. Pretty awesome. FM is expanded, actually, 76 to 108. Got a little log scale. We have a pointer here, and then we have a little red pointer on this side. Not bad. And down here, of course, we have the 3 bands. Selecting with the switch. Turn that down. Turns radio on too, by the way, as you just heard. There's medium wave. And we have our power button. Turn off the radio. And you can actually lock it by pushing down and going forward. And the little orange indicator says it's locked. Pull that back up. Nice. Tone control. We have a high, low, and news. Works really well as a bandwidth filter. So I leave it in the middle. Low seems to be about 3 kilohertz to me. And news seems to be about like 1.5 or 2. And high is about 4-ish. So it gives you an idea. 4.5 maybe kilohertz. It's just by ear, it's a tone. It's not really a true bandwidth filter, but still nice to use to hear legible distant stations. Right inside, we got the little tuning wheel. Works really good. Smooth analog style. Like that. There's our pointer right there. Accuracy, it's fairly accurate. Just got to look towards when you're looking at the indicator, just to the bottom of the indicator. That's where you're at. So once you know that, you're good. Top of the radio, we have a pull-up antenna, so you can clear the cabinet. This is 27 inches for your FM and shortwave reception. And on the back here, we have a world time map. There you go. And we got our frequency ranges all posted there. And it says made in Japan. Think of beauty. Awesome. And it runs on 4 AA batteries. We'll leave them in there. Vented case right behind the speaker. All right. Let's do a little size comparison. We'll start cruising the evening band. Now, the other night, I was picking up all kinds of stations, which is great. And I don't know what tonight's going to be like, but let's hope. So we're 11:32 at Central Standard Time, and I'm near Chicago, Illinois, USA. There you go. CC Pocket in the house. we got CC Skywave. I'll be using this as a frequency checker in case I get lost in the band. It's kind of hard to until you get to the top of the band. I think there's a lot crunched in there towards the top. There we go. And if you don't have those two radios, a deck of cards will suffice. Iron Man, he's the man with the master plan. He's a Sony fanboy like Todderbert is. Man, I've used that before and I like it. He's Iron Man. Sony fanboy. Nice. Okay, so let's get this party started and turn it on. So just hit this button. Turns the radio on. Turn the volume up. Start at the bottom of the band. Now, internal antenna is right here, and it measures 4 3/4 inches, and it looks really nice how they got it laid out. When we take the radio apart, it comes in 3 pieces: front panel, back panel, and the center radio module. So it's really easy to service, except when you start playing with these switches. To clean them, you really got to monkey with popping those loose and don't lose the little metal springs underneath. You'll know if you get one of these radios or have one. So let's get tuning so we can hear. I'm going to be turning the radio and aiming it at stations.
They are the maps, they are what they are, and so it is still important for both candidates and...
Okay, that's 540. Last night I was picking up Brampton, Ontario, which is a faint station, and I was picking up Cuba on 530. There we go, there's Cuba, I think. There's music. I don't know if you guys can pick it up at the camera. Probably not. I'm going to bring in a passive loop, a Terk Advantage. And I'm going to tune it in and see if I can get it better. So I think that's Cuba right there. If I'm wrong, let me know, but that's like the direction, southeast, and it's northwest. So if you guys have an idea, let me know. But when I turn here, it's definitely not Brampton, Ontario. I get something different usually. So awesome. If that's the case, we just picked up a 1,700-mile station. All right, let's keep going. 540.
Beaded run that's saying that these lines are gerrymandered.
WAUK, Jackson, Wisconsin, 70 miles to the north, 400 watts at night.
We need to, of course, pay attention to our constituents who live within those districts because that's who we benefit.
Nice, very sensitive radio. Loving it. I'll say that quite a bit during the video because I do. I think this thing's awesome.
You're the attorney for the general matters of the state, basically. And so they have
550 KTRS, St. Louis, Missouri.
And they can and file civil matters.
275 miles, 5,000 watts.
They also have one
Tone
very
control.
important aspect in criminal matters,
High.
and that is appeals.
Low.
As the prosecutor, I had no authority
And news.
to appeal a case on a felony.
Leave it on
That
low.
was the responsibility of the Attorney General.
Able to vacate, a motion to vacate for one vote, that was pretty stunning. I thought that was pretty interesting and a really good idea because...
But Susie, that had been agreed to.
Here's 560 WIND, Chicago, local.
Now, remember, I had been in touch with a lot of these people in December, talking about all of these issues. My frustration was now...
Tough night for some of these.
And yeah, George is apparently with the largest margin of victory in any bowl ever, even more than the LSU game at New Year's.
There's
Michigan
6'10",
running
I
back
believe.
Blake Corum will return for his senior season. The Arizona Cardinals fired Coach Cliff Kingsbury. Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams has a bruised back, no fractures, so he could practice this week. But running back for Miami, Raheem Mostert has a broken thumb. It requires surgery. Everything final in the NBA. Sacramento won the late game, 136-111 over Orlando.
Should be KCSP.
From three-point range were 23 of 40.
Kansas City, Missouri, 400 miles, 5,000 watts.
Boston won again, beating Chicago 107-99. DeMar DeRozan left for the Bulls with a strained quad. Milwaukee got a close win at New York, 111-107, despite 44 points from Jalen Brunson.
Other station there is WTVN, Columbus, Ohio, 330 miles, 5,000 watts.
To return tomorrow for Golden State against Phoenix. And this
Keep going.
Boo Boo can sign up for the H&R Block Force and do my taxes. Then Jay can get Rent Smart Tax. Boo Boo can do it. You can't. That's the theme of this segment. Well, thank you for that, Jay. Good time.
All right, let's get to your calls, America.
Getting some bleed over. This is 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's your question today?
My question is, I'm really mad for the Ramsey on Japan, baby stuff line.
Okay, barely coming in. I'm really trying, guys. 630, KYFI, St. Louis, Missouri, to that direction. And this direction here is CFCO 630. Yeah, KYFI is a religious station. Alright, cool. Let's keep going. That's CFCO there. The country music there, 16. Hello, 630. Yeah, CFCO, Chatham, Ontario, 310 miles, 6,000 watts.
Santana featuring Willie Bobo, Roberta Flack, and the voices of East Harlem. The movie Soul to Soul not only captures performances.
640. This is local WMFN, Peatone, Illinois. 75 miles from me, 1,600 watts at night.
In history.
Well, I'm not looking, because I know what to do.
That music there is WSM, Nashville, Tennessee, and this would be the way to tune it in. There you go, 434 miles south. Of course, the antenna works bi-directional. Of course, gets your antenna here. It can go to the south or to the north, which is great.
You're out with your friends drinking beer behind some swinging.
Sometimes I can pick up some New York stations. There it is, WFAN, 660 New York, New York. It's usually kind of hard to get because 670 is local for me. 750 miles. I think I heard him say 66. Cool. Let's keep going.
We decided to kick that kale, cucumber, and cranberry collage to the curb and say see ya to the
670 WSCR, Chicago, home of the Cubs.
of a group of lots and lots of pizza. The award-winning
Good sounding
mozzarella cheese,
speaker.
the high-quality toppings that overflow confidence.
Today again, we started off the show with some good news in terms of retail sales.
I think we're getting a hint of 690 CKGM, Montreal, Quebec. 763 miles when it was faint in this direction, but this direction here we're WLW 700, Cincinnati, Ohio, 300 miles east.
The lull, once you have after the holiday sales, Christmas sales, and that type of thing, it's a cyclical.
I don't think that those conservatives are bad guys.
Good selectivity here, wow. WOR 710, New York, New York. You can bring the loop in. Set a perpendicular and boost this.
Which you already moved into in the first place, by the way. You already moved in there before you even won the vote, okay? Speaking of January 6th, and the attack on the conservatives, this is a perfect example, actually. The January 6th committee, I'm sorry. I didn't turn it.
Yeah, 720 WGN, Chicago's right next to this.
The same way that a parabolic antenna which, by the way, a good example of a parabolic antenna would probably be a satellite dish. But a parabolic reflector is, when you look at a satellite dish, you can
720 WGN Chicago.
It's a surface that's used to collect and project energy, and it doesn't.
Gone completely off our door with this modern.
Excellent old school music here. CFZM, Zoomer Radio, Toronto, Ontario on 740. This is 460 miles. Nice.
Sound queued up there. By the way, Luke, you are the best, man. We love you. You do a great job. So we'll follow
750?
it up with a Coach King, Kirby Smart.
First of all,
WSB, Atlanta, Georgia, 630 miles.
College Football Hall of Fame because it's not an All-American. Is that a rule that should change? And secondly, have you had a chance to talk and connect with your father tonight?
I have not connected with my
president again. What this is to say is that we are going to get into hotter and hotter and more volatile water.
Here's WJR 760, Detroit, Michigan, 270 miles.
The numerator matters more than the denominator. That consent matters an awful lot more than control. Social solidarity matters a lot more than...
You were dating, and she would be forced to do 2 12-hour shifts. Did she say her paycheck...
Hearing these accents as we cruise around the bands is fun. 770 right now. WABC, New York, New York. Again, 750 miles. Beautiful.
She was working for money. I mean, before kids and before we were...
On the national reimbursement list, that would have allowed patients to get it at a cheaper price.
780 WBBM, Chicago, News Radio. Local.
2 other domestic COVID-19 drugs in the reimbursement.
Especially when isolated from the full context. And it seems that he made the right choice because his clip garnered nearly 10 million.
Right now, the Frizzy Bathroom Model has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one.
Let's find out where we're at for 810.
So you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before.
Direct entry frequencies.
It's a free bathroom model from the most trusted brand name in the business. Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895.
Should be WBAP.
800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Attention, per the current government mandate.
Which is Fort Worth, Texas, 810 miles to the southwest.
With no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free. Test kit for free, Doc.
Eventing Grand Prix, plus features on horsemanship, horse health and welfare, and equestrian
830 I think was kind of weak. So this is 840.
Join Equus Television throughout the season.
Yeah, that's 830. Nothing.
Reaction from the world's top equestrian destinations. Equus Television is free, and it's available now.
So 840 WHAS, Louisville, Kentucky. 300 miles.
LG, Apple TV, and
off to the southeast.
EquusTelevision.net. Tune in to Equus to find out how you can
I listen to Coast on here, 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time, and then of course there's Ground Zero right now.
Show horse extravaganzas. Join the millions on the Equus Television.
See if we can't get Denver.
Now for free on your favorite smart TV platform, plus the all-new iPhone app.
Back out there, that's pretty explosive. Well seen the shotgun. Edmonds to his right.
Kind of hint of it. It's mixing with other stations, but we are picking up KOA Denver, Colorado at 890 miles. It will clear later tonight, probably. You can hear them, sports, broadcasting. There's music. Next to it should be 860. French station, as you can tell, CJBC, Toronto, Ontario, 460 miles, northeast.
Hard worker, pretty good at football, smart, but they'll see that, I don't know. That'll take care of itself. Today we're national champs.
So here's 870 WWL, New Orleans, Louisiana. 865 miles to the south. When I told my neighbor I could tune this in, he was shocked. He's a Saints fan. He was wearing a shirt.
Oh, it's gonna hurt. Maybe I'm hearing things.
Well, I wanted to, but, you know, I would just say, JR, that
GWB isn't bad now, even though the lower level flows into New Jersey. 2 lanes blocked into the city on the upper level. The Lincoln's good both ways. The Holland is slow out of town.
880 WCBS.
Into town until 5 o'clock in the morning. Our next traffic update at 1:08, at 12:58. Breaking traffic news when it happens. I'm Jeff Jensen in the WCBS Traffic Center.
Breezy and mainly clear early this morning. The low in Midtown near 34.
So there you go, New York, New York. So I can pick up New York pretty easy because it shoots right over the Great Lakes. Because you got Chicago, all the Great Lakes, and then New York City. So it's a nice clear path.
With a high of 43. Rather cloudy on Thursday with rain arriving late in the day or overnight. Not as chilly, however, with a high of 49.
Not bad, coming in good.
Once upon a time, it meant that you were asleep, but then you weren't anymore. Now, if you go to Alabama...
Here's 890 WLS, Chicago. A little bit of high-pitched whine coming from the camera. A lot of my radios pick it up. I think all of them do.
100% cotton bedding that's grown on their family farm, milled in the southeast, and sown in Mississippi.
CHML, Hamilton, Ontario. 900. They tend to have old-time radio. 430 miles northeast. Go a little quicker here through the band. Go up to 1,000 here.
I mean, that's
Remember, you and I from the start, we want to make sure that Serena could hear us because we figured the same thing would happen, and really it did. The crowd was for Davenport.
Okay, I think this is 990. We're going to check.
The crowd exploded into cheers after Serena's opponent, Lindsay Davenport, won a point, which brought Davenport just 1 point from tying the match.
So CBW, Winnipeg, Manitoba, 675 miles.
To win the second. But with 2 Americans on the court.
Like conference championship Saturday, I think if you take away that week, but
local, 1,000 WMVP, Chicago. Those call letters are pretty cool.
Or the Big 12 having that game every year in Dallas. Or what? Because those games are going
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack.
This is coming in like a local, KDKA, 1020, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 450 miles.
Comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It's powerful.
Not sure where to start? They have a team of design experts on hand at the Design Center to help make the selection easy. Code Carpet One's giant showroom and Design Center at 141 Great Road in Acton, or visit postroadcarpetOneActon.com.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur.
Okay, this should be 1030 WBZ. Nice. Boston, Massachusetts. It's 880 miles.
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck.
That's looking good enough. You're traveling 95 in Delaware County. Got to work again overnight. Northbound, curl into the Blue Route, taking out the 2 right lanes.
KYW 1060. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles.
Right lane closure on the northeast extension. You're going to find that northbound starting at about Quakertown, running all the way up Lehigh Valley. New Jersey
It's a great little analog radio. Loving this. I can see why it's popular. Excellent sensitivity here.
Your next update, that's coming in less than 10 minutes. I'm Andy Anderson.
Andy, thanks. Now the NBC 10 First Alert forecast.
Overnight clear skies and cold. Temperatures down to 32. Tuesday afternoon, we're up to 45 with mostly cloudy skies.
And I don't understand why. So
most awarded tenors in gospel music, Brian Free with Brian Free and Assurance, plus Johnny Inman from Triumphant Quartet, also singing gospel and country artist Justin Cole, plus from the Ark Encounter.
I think this is Little Rock, Arkansas, 570 miles, KAAY on 1090. Nice.
Donation will be received at the door. Don't miss the Kentucky Gospel Music Celebration at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Glasgow, Kentucky.
The whole thing.
Bizarre, right? Whatever. So, talked about it for years, it's like kind of a thing, and then, you mentioned kind of part of ways.
1100 WTAM, Cleveland, Ohio, 345 miles.
We're all back together and stuff. Me and the Bachelor remember this distinctly.
Their lives on the fire field can't die. It must live on from generation to generation. And those
K1120, KMOX, St. Louis, Missouri, 275 miles.
was the highest ranking member of the SDNY.
As you can see, quite a bit of stations jammed in between here and here. We just went through this whole section here. So yeah, tightens up to the top.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has implications, I think, for like religion, mysticism, everything. Yeah. Right? Is it possible that,
Okay, this should be 1140. Let's just double check. Yep. Can't hover on some of these because sometimes they copyright their programs. 1140 is WRVA, Richmond, Virginia, 665 miles.
Just even the name, para, just means around normal. So if you're talking about it being...
Yeah, it's coast to coast rerun.
Not just weather-related items that causes people to want to get repaired. It's the variety of
it's worked consistently. It was very, very methodical, and that's something I've learned to be system-driven when you're developing.
See where this is at.
By leading by example, what my dad, I never saw him get drunk. I saw him home every day, tend to his garden, had dinner ready, and my mom was
1180 WHAM, Rochester, New York, 545 miles.
And you take care of people. So that's my upbringing and delivery.
Coast to coast deal. WPHT 1220, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 700 miles.
When it takes off. I was losing that. I was losing my energy.
Yeah, we're going to go to the top of the band now, since I got a few minutes left.
Officials issued an evacuation order for the community of Montecito in Santa Barbara.
See where we're at. At 1300 still. Quite a bit in the graveyard band here. You could spend a lot of time.
ESPN 1530.
From the ESPN 1530 studio, powered by Zimmer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
WCKY, though something's really interfering with it. Cincinnati, Ohio, 300 miles.
I knew when ovarian cancer recurred. That I watched on TCM last night, Elvis on tour.
KXCL, 1540, Waterloo, Iowa, 210 miles to the west.
In Killing the Legends, you're getting, what...
CHHA, Toronto, Ontario, 1610, 460 miles. Traffic Advisory Radio 1620, Lake County, Illinois. Picked it up real clear today. It was awesome.
But about 2 hours after the plane took off, the company
And this should be
reported that
1630 where it tops out.
Rocket would not make it into orbit. And Georgia has become the first team to win consecutive titles in the college football playoff era, demolishing TCU 65-7 tonight. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all.
So KCJJ 1630, the mighty. I always study Iowa, 175 miles, 1,000 watts at night, to the west. I think that's it.
Keep things running, everything would suddenly stop.
Yep. Stops right there in 1630. Cool. So there we go. There's our Sony ICF-7600A. Let's make sure we turn it off. There you go. Just hit that button to turn it off. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this setup. As long as you're good and familiar with radios, it comes apart fairly easy. The trick is pulling this tuning knob out just a little bit to clear the case when you're trying to pull the module away from the faceplate, because these switches drop through, which is nice. This does, this all drops through, and same with the power switch. So this comes off real clean. And yeah, you can get in there and you can clean the switches here. You can clean this switch, the volume slider. This one's a little harder, the shortwave band select, because it's in between the PCB and the switch plate cover. So yeah, to get in there, you got to do a little bit more work involved. I didn't try because mine sounded fine, but very neat. Cool. Hope you enjoyed this evening band scan with the Sony Classic 1982 7600A. I love it. They made a lot of versions of 7600. I have the SW7600GR, the latest they made before they stopped making them. So it's kind of cool to have one of the originals. Yeah, really neat radio before they came out with all the digital versions. I like this analog display, analogs tuning. It's great. So hope you enjoyed that video. And of course, Sony, if you like it and you're a fanboy or fangirl, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified of future videos. And 3, comment below what you think about the ICF-7600A. Would you add to your collection for costing around $50 to $100 depending on condition? I think you can find a decent one in this condition for right around $70. This was donated to the channel. Thank you, sir. You know who you are. So yeah, it's you had the original box and paperwork and everything. So I see those too. So very common and popular radio. You'll be able to find one. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you in my next video.